Babe, buckle up, because the Gypsy Rose Blanchard saga just took a nosedive into pure scandal, and it's so messy, dramatic, and downright chaotic, it could have been ripped from a reality show finale. And trust me, it's not the kind of plot twist anyone saw coming. So, let's rewind for a second. Gypsy, fresh out of prison and glowing in her soft-focused TikToks, has been playing the part of a reformed sweetheart, new life, new husband, new baby on the way. She's been positioning herself as the girl who made it through hell and came out the other side wiser, stronger, and determined to do things right. And people bought into it, hard. Nearly 10 million people followed her journey, rooting for her, defending her, even crying with her during emotional live streams. She said she didn't want pity. She said she didn't need anyone's money. She said she was going to rebuild her life without handouts, and she said it not once, but over and over again. And then, like a jump scare in a horror movie, the vibe completely changed.
I would never ask for money, no Venmo, please don't make a GoFundMe, don't do anything with money.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, people noticed something new in Gypsy's TikTok bio. No, it wasn't a baby update or a link to a new YouTube channel. It was her Cash App tag. Yep. Plain. Bold. Sitting there like it had every right to exist. No post explaining why. No tearful confession. Just send money, clear as day. And babe, when I tell you the internet spiraled, I mean it imploded, because this wasn't just a donation link. This was a betrayal of trust. The same Gypsy who made speeches about not wanting charity, who clutched her pearls every time someone even suggested a GoFundMe, was now low-key asking for cash? Without a word? And just like that, before people could even catch their breath, she deleted her entire account. Gone. Vanished. Wiped from TikTok like she'd never existed. No. Goodbye. Post. No, I need a break. Just silence. That's when things started to feel calculated. Not chaotic. Not confused. Calculated. Like she knew exactly what she was doing and dipped before the backlash exploded. And oh, it did explode. People didn't forget. Not the live streams where she said, "Please don't send me anything." Not the Instagram captions where she insisted she was doing this on her own. Not the interviews where she looked the camera dead in the eye and said she didn't want strangers paying for her new beginning. All of those receipts came pouring back, posted, reshared, dug up with timestamps and clips. And suddenly the fairy tale comeback started crumbling.
Gypsy Rose put her Cash App in her bio yesterday and then went and deleted all her accounts. You can genuinely go search Gypsy Rose right now. Nothing comes up. Now, nothing came up for me for a long time anyways, because she blocked me a long time ago. But I know she'll still see this. She's a very curious person. If you didn't know this, she still comes into my comment section from time to time. Anyways, Cash App in your fucking bio. Are you kidding me? She is the biggest grifter in... Oh my gosh, she made so much money off of unaliving a woman. Woman being her mom, by the way. And then I watched the fucking live with Bree last night. God, I wish that dude would clock her. Why are we not clocking these people when they are in front of our face? When you have the opportunity, I know that you're trying to get, you got Ken, then you got Bree, and now you want Gypsy. I get it, but there is a point when they talk over you so much that you look bad, right? You look like you're not doing your part in letting them know exactly what's going on. It also, like to me, it opens the door for more people to be like, oh, well, maybe because he's not saying nothing and she's sounds confident just because she's screaming. Not everybody has discernment like that, so I feel like we need to capitalize on this when it's time to take it there. Anyways, grifter, right? Helping people when you get out of prison has done nothing even close to that. Anything she has done has resembled somebody with an addictive mind that cannot stop feeding itself. Gypsy Rose is going to be the talk of the town for the next however long. She might go to jail, right? There's tons of shit that might happen to her.
But babe, wait, that's just one layer. Because this wasn't even her first time playing this game. Oh no. Gypsy's been running this pattern for months. Remember the baby registry? The infamous Amazon wishlist that read like a luxury catalog? She swore she wasn't asking for help, but then turned around and dropped a list filled with everything from diapers and pacifiers to top-tier bassinets, $700 strollers, designer baby monitors, and all the newborn essentials you could possibly think of. And the fans? They showed up. Hard. They cleaned out that wishlist like it was Black Friday. People who'd never met her were maxing out credit cards to support what they believed was a struggling young mom trying to do right. And what did Gypsy do in return? She filmed unboxings, she cried on camera, she thanked her amazing supporters, and then she acted like it never happened. She posted content about being a self-made woman. She told the internet she was working, saving, hustling to build a new future. She crafted a narrative that she had pulled herself up by the bootstraps. But baby, those boots were bought by strangers. That's what stung the most. It wasn't just the contradiction, it was the audacity. To accept thousands of dollars in gifts and then act like it was all you? To erase the people who helped you the moment it stopped serving your image? That rubbed people raw. Because this wasn't just a lie, it was a performance. And then came this Cash App moment, like the curtain falling on a stage. The final act. She dropped the link, waited for the donations to roll in, and then disappeared without a trace. No warning. No explanation. And if that wasn't suspicious enough, the Cash App tag? Gone, too. Deleted from her bio as quietly as it was added. Like it had never been there. Like she hoped no one remembered, but oh, people remembered. And they were furious. The betrayal ran deep. The mood flipped from sympathy to outrage. TikTok turned into a full-on investigation board. People weren't just mad, they were heartbroken, humiliated, dragged through the mud for believing in her. Some said they felt scammed. Others said they felt played. And some? They said they'd been waiting for this moment, watching it build like a slow-moving storm. And just like clockwork.
So let me get this straight. Gypsy Rose added her Cash App in her bio. Ken's out here doing snow angels with a baby in the room. And now they're selling baby furniture on Facebook Marketplace? Is this a crime to couponing pipeline? Because I'm not understanding. In the past 24 hours, Homegirl added her Cash App to her TikTok bio like she was about to drop a freestyle mixtape. Sis, this isn't SoundCloud. It's giving fund my impulse buys and my questionable life choices. She got 9.5 million followers, and she still said, "Y'all got 5 cents?" Like a panhandler? And let's not forget, her LLC is registered in Louisiana, but her address is in Missouri. The setup is dodgier than Ken's nasal passage on a Tuesday night.
When the heat turned all the way up and the internet lit its torches, Gypsy Rose Blanchard did what every influencer caught red-handed eventually does, she vanished. She didn't just take a break. She wiped herself clean off TikTok, nuked her presence like she thought hitting delete would erase the receipts. But babe, this is the internet. The screen recordings? Already saved. The bio with her Cash App? Screenshot. The unboxings? Archived. And then came the cherry on top of the chaos cake, a smug little tweet claiming she had deactivated all her personal social media accounts. Personal. Cute word choice. Except, plot twist, she was still posting from another page. Like we wouldn't notice. Like we'd all just forget the circus of contradictions she's been running for months. It didn't feel like a break. It felt like a panic PR move, the kind you pull when you're trying to save face after the meltdown, not before. But by then, the damage was done. People had already made up their minds. The vibe was no longer sympathetic redemption arc. It was full-blown damage control and meltdown mode. And here's where things take a darker turn. Because the questions started swirling fast and loud, where did all the money go? The sympathy dollars, the baby gifts, the influencer cash, the documentary paychecks? Gypsy has never exactly been broke. In fact, she's made a whole fortune off the tragedy that defined her. Let's not sugarcoat it, she profited off her mother's murder. She turned her trauma into a brand, and the world lapped it up. Book deals with top publishers? Check. Paid interviews that raked in millions of views? Check. She became the face of entire documentaries, the reason streaming services scored high ratings, the center of headlines across the globe, and that was just the beginning. Lifetime gave her an entire reality series, Life After Lockup, 2 whole seasons with Gypsy as the star of the show. She wasn't a background character. She was the show. And yes, she got paid. Well, she became a media darling for surviving the unimaginable, and big names chased her for exclusives. Brands flirted with the idea of working with her. Producers camped out just to get a soundbite, and yet, despite all of that, now here she was, acting like she was scraping pennies to buy formula? Begging through a Cash App bio like she didn't have a single safety net? Something wasn't adding up.
Gypsasaurus is on Cash App. How much are y'all requesting? Think Gypsy's gonna send me 50 bucks? Ha ha! Gypsy, put your Cash App up there. Everybody's gonna request money. Showing off that fucking revenue. Gypsy showing off her Cash App revenue like she can't share it with the rest of us. Gypsy, is this you asking me for $50? I'm not sending you $50 and calling you goddess, Gypsy. We're just friends. You're gonna get a bunch of Cash Apps up in there, okay? Cannon's gonna send you $50 just to reminisce of the good old times, goddess. Haha, goddess. What do I gotta do for 50 bucks? Haha, that's suspicious. Why is the Cash App up there? It's a little suspicious. And why are you getting rid of all the kid stuff? You getting rid of the kid? If I give you 50 bucks, you trying to give me the kid? Cause I don't want to keep the kid. Gypsy, you could get rid of all the kid stuff, but you're gonna have to keep the kid, right? I mean, I guess you could get rid of the kid. You know what, Gypsy? Do whatever you want. I'm gonna send you 50 bucks. I think you really like that. Maybe we'll start messaging soon. Haha, I'll be your friend. I'll be whatever you want me to be. Haha, you want me to be your roller skating buddy? Or you just want me to send you 50 bucks for no reason? That's fine too. Haha, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, Gypsy. Haha, I know y'all heard some of the emails. I'm just kidding. Maybe you didn't. Haha. The emails are great. It's going great. Haha.
People started whispering, is the money gone? Did she burn through it? Or is this just a long con, another sympathy spin? Because it sure doesn't feel like survival. It feels like she's working the crowd, and suddenly, the cracks in the glamorous post-prison life started to show. Fans started spotting her out in public again, this time not with a full Lifetime crew, but with what looked like a DIY filming setup. 1 or 2 cameras following her around, no production van, no boom mics, no crew swarming her. She was seen at a local karaoke bar with her husband and a few friends, and it looked like filming, but it didn't look like Lifetime. People who'd seen the previous seasons clocked it immediately. This wasn't a big network return, it was giving YouTube vlog. And just like that, the speculation shifted. Maybe Lifetime pulled the plug. Maybe the contracts dried up. Maybe Gypsy was now scrambling to keep her name trending, on her own dime. It was more than a downgrade. It was a red flag. From high-end production to handheld content, it screamed decline. The brand deals weren't knocking. The camera crew wasn't chasing. The spotlight she used to bask in was slowly dimming. And then came the final gut punch. TikTok, her biggest moneymaker, turned off the faucet. Overnight. Gone. See, TikTok changed its policy. No monetization for convicted felons. That meant no bonuses. No live gifts. No ad revenue. And for Gypsy, convicted of second-degree murder, that meant checkmate. Her account may have still had millions of followers, but the cash pipeline was cut off. She was still dancing on the stage, but the lights weren't paying the bill anymore. Pair that with Lifetime quietly not announcing a season 3, and Gypsy was suddenly free-floating without a parachute. So what did she do? She circled right back to the people she once told never to send her a dime, her fans. The same ones who had already gone out of their way to support her, who'd filled her baby registry with high-end gifts and believed in her clean slate story. And just like that, she flipped the script again and leaned into the desperation, hoping the same people she swore off would bail her out, again. But it didn't stop there. In a twist that had even her defenders backing away, Gypsy started reselling the very gifts her fans had sent her. She hopped on Facebook Marketplace, and suddenly, baby items from her registry, gifts from people who just wanted to help, were being listed for sale. Diaper bags. Swaddles. Bottles. All marked up. Some items were brand new, never opened, and she wanted cash for them. One stroller, gifted off her public wish list, was listed at a premium. And it gets worse. She even put up clothing from Life After Lockup Season 2, outfits she wore on TV, some with price tags that made no sense. A $29 shine dress? Listed at $50. A basic top she got for free? Now going for $500. Yes, $500, babe. And she didn't stop to say thank you. She didn't offer to donate the extras to struggling moms. She didn't even acknowledge the people who gave her those things out of love. She just flipped them for profit like it was some twisted clearance sale. She claimed the items were just extras. But if you've got so much extra, why not give them to someone who actually needs it? Why not pay it forward? You'd think after being exposed for flipping baby gifts for profit, deactivating accounts mid-scandal, and playing her sympathy card like it's the only one in the deck, she'd step back, reflect, maybe offer a sincere apology. But no. That's not the Gypsy playbook. Instead, she's gone radio silent in a way that doesn't feel like regret, it feels like a setup for her next entrance. Because let's be real, this isn't some overwhelmed new mom just trying to get through tough times. This is strategy, and people are waking up to it. She didn't just sell a few extra diapers or unload a few onesies. No. She took the gifts that strangers gave her out of kindness and trust and turned them into a personal yard sale. Not even discreetly. Facebook Marketplace listings with inflated prices, some for items she never paid a single rupee or dollar for, stuff she unboxed on live streams with shaky hands and teary thank yous. And now, she's out here charging $50 for a $20 dress she got for free and $500 for outfits she wore during Lifetime shoots? Girl, what? And that's the moment fans said enough. Because these weren't just gifts, they were symbols of belief. People didn't just send her baby gear, they sent hope. They believed Gypsy was healing, learning, trying to rewrite her life. But when she sold those things for profit, it didn't just look shady, it screamed entitlement. It wasn't about survival. It was greed wearing vulnerability as a mask. And that's where it gets even more twisted. Because if you trace the pattern all the way back, it's been there since day one. Gypsy has never really lived outside of manipulation. From the moment she entered the public eye, her story has always been framed for maximum emotional impact. Yes, what she went through was horrific. Yes, her mother controlled and abused her. But somewhere along the line, Gypsy learned to weaponize her trauma. And now, instead of Munchausen by proxy, we're watching something just as unsettling, manipulation by influence. People are no longer whispering about the inconsistencies, they're shouting. They're compiling timelines, matching up old statements with new lies, rewatching interviews and TikToks and realizing the truth's been bent again and again. One week she's humbled and grateful. The next she's curating a new aesthetic, pretending she climbed this mountain all by herself. One month she's asking people not to send anything, then quietly linking her Cash App and flipping Amazon boxes like she's running a side hustle. And the worst part? Every time she gets caught, she hits the same beats: delete, disappear, deflect. It's like clockwork. A PR vanishing act dressed up as mental health breaks or protecting her peace. But for those who've been watching closely, it's not silence, it's a countdown. Because Gypsy doesn't retreat. She reloads. She knows exactly what she's doing. She pulls back just long enough to stir up mystery, lets people miss her, debate her, wonder where she's gone. And when the heat cools off and the outrage simmers, that's when she slithers back in, usually with a new version of herself. A new story. A rebrand. Sometimes she's the devoted wife. Sometimes she's the victim of online bullying. Sometimes she's just a regular mom, trying to live a quiet life, while posting cryptic messages and curated softcore content for millions to dissect. She changes shape, but the strategy stays the same. She's done it before. And that's what makes this moment so unsettling. Because this social media break, it doesn't feel like a goodbye. It feels like an audition for the next chapter. A pause before the next debut. And she knows exactly how to make people curious. She's done it for years. She's not logging off forever. She's just taking a breather, long enough to plan her comeback. And here's where the line starts to blur. Is Gypsy just a woman trying to survive? Or is she a master manipulator who knows exactly how to keep her name in circulation? Because at this point, it's hard to tell where the trauma ends and the performance begins. Her entire income depends on being visible, on staying talked about, and every scandal, every lie, every twist feeds that machine. And that's the latest tea, but trust, this story is far from over. If you're just as shook as we are, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts below, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next twist in this wild saga. Because with Gypsy, the drama doesn't end, it just reloads.